God, free me out from bad friends and send me new Spirit LED friendships. Why do you feel spiritually exhausted after spending time with certain people? Why does your boldness shrink in some circles? Why does your peace disappear the moment a specific name shows up on your phone? Be honest with yourself. There are conversations that leave you lighter, and there are conversations that leave you confused. There are rooms where your faith rises, and there are rooms where your convictions slowly dissolve. Not because anyone forced you to sin, not because anyone openly attacked your beliefs, but because influence is subtle, atmosphere is powerful, proximity shapes destiny. Some friendships are not relationships, they are restraints. You keep praying, God, elevate me, God, use me, God, send me divine connections. But heaven cannot send covenant voices into a space already crowded with compromise. You cannot receive spirit-led friendships while holding on to soul-tied distractions. This is not about arrogance. This is about alignment. There are people who were part of your history but are not part of your calling. There are voices that were loud in your past but have no authority in your future. And deep down, you already feel it. That discomfort is not anxiety. It is discernment trying to wake you up. God is not trying to isolate you. He is trying to protect your purpose. If you have been sensing distance, tension, or an internal pull away from certain friendships, this is not random. This is spiritual transition. And what feels like loss may actually be preparation. Stay with me, because what you are about to understand will change the way you see every relationship around you. The invisible drain. Not every harmful friendship looks evil. Some just look normal, comfortable, familiar. That is what makes them dangerous. There are people who do not attack your faith directly. They simply drain it slowly. A sarcastic comment here. A normalized compromise there. A joke about conviction. A subtle eye roll when you mention obedience. Over time, what once bothered you no longer feels serious. What once convicted you now feels negotiable. This is how spiritual erosion works. You leave their presence feeling slightly heavier, slightly duller, slightly less focused. You laugh, but something inside you feels unsettled. You participate, but your spirit feels quiet. That is not overthinking. That is your soul reacting to misalignment. Atmosphere matters. In 1 Corinthians chapter 15, verse 33, it says that bad company corrupts good character. Corruption does not happen loudly. It happens gradually. Through repetition, through exposure, through emotional bonding. You do not become who you hang around overnight. You become who you tolerate over time. Some friendships normalize gossip, some normalize unbelief, some normalize mediocrity, and when something becomes normal, it stops feeling dangerous. The real question is not whether they are bad people. The real question is whether their presence strengthens your obedience or weakens it. And what you discover next may challenge you even deeper. The counterfeit connection. Familiarity is not covenant. Just because someone has history with you does not mean they have destiny with you. Shared memories do not equal shared purpose. You can laugh about the past and still be completely misaligned about the future. Some friendships were real for a season, but seasons change. What once felt like loyalty may now feel like limitation. And that realization can hurt because we confuse longevity with divine approval. Listen carefully. Not every connection is covenant. Some are assignments for growth. Some are mirrors that showed you who you were. Some were companions for a chapter, not partners for the entire book. You feel tension now because your spirit is evolving, but the relationship is not. You are hungry for more of God, and they are comfortable where they are. You are seeking discipline, and they are celebrating distraction. You are pursuing purpose, and they are protecting familiarity. This is where the internal conflict begins. You tell yourself, but we have been friends for years. You remind yourself of what they did for you. You feel guilty for even questioning the connection. Yet inside, something feels off. Conversations that once energized you now feel repetitive. Values that once aligned now feel divided. That is not pride, that is growth. Even Jesus had circles. He loved the crowds, walked with the 12, and revealed deeper things to the 3. Proximity was intentional. Access was selective. Not everyone was invited into every level. When you begin to grow spiritually, misalignment becomes uncomfortable, and discomfort is often the first sign that a season is ending. Let me ask you something directly. Are you holding on to certain friendships because they are God-sent or because they are familiar? Are you staying connected out of obedience or out of fear of being alone? What comes next will explain why separation often feels like loneliness before it feels like promotion. When God starts separating you, there is a phase nobody talks about, the quiet distance, the unanswered messages, the invitations you no longer feel peace accepting, the subtle pull in your spirit saying, "Do not go there anymore." And suddenly, you feel alone. When God begins separating you, it does not always look dramatic. It feels internal. You still care about them, you still love them, but something inside you cannot relax in that environment anymore. The jokes hit differently. The conversations feel shallow. The atmosphere feels heavy. This is the loneliness before the upgrade. You start wondering if you are being too sensitive, if you are overreacting, if you are becoming too serious about your faith. But what if this is not about being extreme? What if this is about being aligned? Sometimes God removes the noise before he sends the right voices. Abraham had to leave his familiar land before stepping into promise. In Genesis chapter 12, verse 1, the Lord told him to go from his country and his relatives to a land he would show him. The instruction came before the revelation. Separation came before elevation. The space between old friendships and new ones can feel empty. That emptiness tests your trust. It tempts you to return to what is comfortable. It whispers, "At least there you belonged." But belonging is not the same as becoming. You cannot step into spirit-led relationships while constantly running back to emotionally safe but spiritually stagnant circles. God sometimes allows distance to protect what he is building in you. Not because those people are evil, but because your calling is evolving. The loneliness is not punishment, it is preparation, and now you are ready to confront something deeper. How do you discern whether a friendship is truly spirit-led or quietly pulling you away from your purpose? Signs. A friendship is not spirit-led. This is where you must be honest with yourself. A friendship does not have to be openly sinful to be spiritually misaligned. It only needs to consistently pull you away from obedience. The danger is not always rebellion. Sometimes it is subtle resistance to growth. Pay attention to what they celebrate in you. Do they celebrate your comfort more than your calling? Do they cheer when you relax your standards but grow silent when you raise them? When you talk about fasting, praying, changing habits, drawing boundaries, do they support you or subtly mock your transformation? A friendship that is not spirit-led will tolerate your weakness but feel threatened by your discipline. Notice how they respond to your conviction. When you say, "I do not feel peace about that," do they respect it or pressure you to ignore it? Spirit-led friendships protect your boundaries. Misaligned friendships test them. Look at when they show up. Are they present in your abundance but absent in your obedience? Do they enjoy the benefits of your success but disappear when you are making hard spiritual decisions? A spirit-led friend values your alignment with God more than your availability to them. Observe the atmosphere after you leave them. Do you feel clearer or more confused? Do you feel encouraged toward holiness or comfortable in compromise? Peace is not just a feeling, it is a signal. Jesus said in Matthew chapter 7, verse 16, that you will recognize them by their fruits, not by their words, not by their history, by their fruit. What is the fruit of this friendship in your life? Growth or stagnation? Courage or hesitation? Faith or doubt? This is not about labeling people as bad. It is about discerning what is feeding your spirit. And if some of this is hitting close to home, it is because the next step requires courage. You cannot just identify misalignment. You must be willing to pray the prayer that changes everything. What spirit-led friendships actually look like. Now breathe for a moment, because this is not only about what must leave, it is about what God wants to send. Spirit-led friendships feel different, not louder, not more entertaining, different. They remind you who you are when you forget. When you doubt yourself, they speak identity over you. When you are tempted to shrink, they call you forward. They do not compete with your calling, they protect it. A spirit-led friend does not just react to your emotions. They pray before they respond. They care more about your soul than your approval. If they need to correct you, they do it with humility, not superiority. They sharpen you without shaming you. There is safety there. You do not feel pressure to perform. You do not feel forced to dilute your faith. You can talk about obedience without being labeled extreme. You can share conviction without being laughed at. You can grow without being resented. They protect your name in rooms you are not in. They defend your integrity when you are not present. They celebrate your discipline, not just your personality. They value your spiritual consistency more than your social availability. And here is the deeper sign. After spending time with them, you feel closer to God, not because they preached at you, but because their presence carries peace. Their words carry wisdom. Their choices carry fruit. In Ecclesiastes chapter 4, verse 9 to 10, it says, "Two are better than one, because if either of them falls, one can help the other up." Spirit-led friendships lift. They do not enable collapse. You do not have to chase these relationships. You position yourself for them. And that positioning begins with one prayer most people avoid because it feels risky. The hard prayer. This is the prayer most people think but rarely say out loud. God, remove what you did not send. It sounds simple. It is not. Because when you pray this, you are giving God permission to disrupt your comfort. You are surrendering your emotional attachments. You are trusting Him with relationships that feel safe, even if they are not spiritually healthy. Why do we resist this prayer? Because we fear loss more than we desire alignment. We fear being misunderstood. We fear being alone on Friday nights. We fear the silence that comes when old conversations stop. But what if what you call loss is actually protection? Sometimes we ask God for elevation while holding on to relationships that anchor us to old versions of ourselves. You cannot rise while gripping what was assigned to your past. In Psalm chapter 1, verse 1, it says, "Blessed is the one who does not walk in step with the wicked, or stand in the way that sinners take, or sit in the company of mockers." Notice the progression. Walk, stand, sit. Influence deepens with proximity, and blessing is connected to separation. This prayer is not about cutting people off with anger. It is about surrendering them with trust. It is saying, "Lord, if this relationship is not aligned with your will for my life, gently remove it. If it is meant to remain, purify it. If it is not, replace it." You are not asking God to isolate you. You are asking Him to refine your circle. The truth is, you already sense which friendships feel forced and which feel favored. This prayer simply gives heaven legal access to act on what your spirit has been whispering. And when you dare to pray this, something shifts in the spiritual atmosphere around you. Prophetic declaration. Now listen to me carefully, because this is not information. This is alignment. God is not just removing people. He is rearranging your environment. He is disconnecting you from confusion and connecting you to clarity. He is breaking emotional ties that kept you cycling in old patterns. He is aligning you with voices that confirm your calling instead of competing with it. There are relationships leaving your life not because you failed, but because you are advancing. There are conversations fading because your discernment has matured. There are invitations decreasing because your standards have increased. This is not rejection, this is redirection. The Lord is sending people who will recognize the oil on your life, people who will not be intimidated by your growth, people who will challenge you toward obedience, not toward comfort. Iron sharpens iron, as it says in Proverbs chapter 27, verse 17. Sharpening creates friction, but it produces strength. God is removing counterfeit loyalty, loyalty that was based on convenience, loyalty that disappeared when you set boundaries, loyalty that depended on you staying small. In its place, He is sending covenant alignment, friendships built on prayer, conversations centered on purpose, accountability rooted in love. These are not surface-level connections. These are destiny partnerships. You will not have to force these relationships. You will recognize them by peace. You will recognize them by mutual hunger for God. You will recognize them by how they push you closer to your assignment without pulling you into comparison. This shift may feel uncomfortable now, but heaven is not subtracting randomly. Heaven is preparing strategically. And as powerful as this declaration is, you still need something practical. You need to know how to discern wisely moving forward. Practical discernment shift. From this moment on, you cannot evaluate friendships emotionally first. You must evaluate them spiritually. Stop asking only, do I enjoy being around them? Start asking, who am I becoming around them? That question alone will expose more than months of confusion. After you spend time together, do you feel closer to God or further from conviction? Do you feel strengthened in discipline or relaxed into compromise? Your spirit keeps records your emotions try to ignore. Ask yourself, can I talk about obedience without feeling awkward? Can I share what God is correcting in me without being dismissed? Can I set a boundary without being punished with distance or guilt? Spirit-led friendships respect alignment. They do not compete with it. Pay attention to correction. When they challenge you, is it to elevate you or to control you? When you challenge them, do they receive it with humility or defensiveness? Growth requires mutual sharpening, not one-sided tolerance. Look at how they handle your success. Do they celebrate your progress without comparison? Do they encourage your discipline without sarcasm? Envy hides behind jokes. Misalignment hides behind laughter. And here is a deeper filter. Would I want this person influencing my future family? Would I trust them with my lowest moments? Would I follow their advice if my life depended on it? Discernment is not suspicion, it is spiritual awareness. The more intentional you become, the more selective you must be. Not out of pride, but out of stewardship. Your calling is too valuable to place in careless hands. Now everything leads to this final moment. You cannot just understand this message, you must respond to it. Powerful closing prayer. Right now, this is not about information anymore. This is about surrender. Close your eyes for a moment and be honest with God. Not the polished version of you, the real one. Father, you see every relationship in my life. You see the conversations, the influences, the private compromises, the subtle pressures. You see what strengthens me and what slowly weakens me. I do not want to hold on to what is hindering my purpose. If there is any friendship in my life that is not aligned with your will, give me the courage to release it with peace. Remove bitterness, remove pride, remove fear. I do not want to walk away in anger. I want to walk forward in obedience. Lord, refine my circle. If a relationship can be healed, heal it. If it must be purified, purify it. If it must end, end it gently but clearly. Close doors that I am too emotionally attached to close myself. Send me spirit-led friendships. Send me people who honor your presence. People who challenge me to grow. People who pray with me when I am weak. People who protect my integrity when I am not in the room. Align me with voices that confirm my calling and correct me in love. Guard my heart from loneliness that drives me back to what you delivered me from. Teach me to trust the quiet seasons. Teach me to value quality over quantity. Teach me to discern before I attach. I surrender my relationships to you, not because I want control, but because I trust your wisdom more than my emotions. My destiny cannot survive the wrong circle. Let it flourish in the right one. If this prayer resonates with you, do not ignore what you felt during this message. Act on it. Pray it again in private, and watch how God begins to rearrange your circle with precision.